Hey, Composing Gloves here, and today we're going to be talking about syncopated rhythms. So, you now know about borrowed time, all the stuff. You can read notes, note links, note rhythms, basic rhythms, you know how to subdivide. Man, you're really just on your way to becoming a music master. So, let's talk about note syncopations. So we talked about last video how certain measures, their meters will invoke a particular accent. A particular beat will get it will get the beat, like not in the sense that it's worth the beat, but it will get emphasis naturally. And I made a big deal about it last video. So I'm running off that concept. So watch that video if you're confused. Now, it'll sound like this usually. However, now we could do something. Now I'm going to only do this in 4/4, but it applies for everything. It goes for 3/4, 2/4, 6/8, 972 over 37. Like it goes for all of it. Okay. So what we need to know is we can manipulate this relationship. So I'm going to do it in 4/4. It applies to everything else though. It is the idea that you could shift the beat. Now we tend to treat 4/4 like a variation on 2/4, where beat 1 is the strongest, beat 3 is less strong than beat 1. But still pretty strong. And then beats 2 and 4 are weak. So we're going to run with that stereotype. So it's more like this. We have something like this typically. We have something like that. So you see, we got that rhythm going. This is a syncopation technically from 4/4 because normally it's just this and then 3 weak. So this has been syncopated. We have shifted the attention of the beat. We've changed the expectations of where it is. That's what syncopation is. It's like your audience is sitting on a boat, and if you do syncopation, it's the same thing as either blowing a hole in the bottom of their boat or you have a giant tidal wave coming to destroy their boat. Either way, they're not staying where they are. They have to move. That's what syncopation does for you. You want to just blow your audience away, right? So what we're doing is we're going to create a syncopation. We're going to shift the attention. Now, syncopation does not have to be done through rhythms. It does not have to receive additional volume. You could do it through chord changes, stylistic changings. There's all sorts of ways. It's any difference that causes your attention to shift from where it normally would be in a meter. So here we have beat 1. It's getting the emphasis. Let's go ahead and add another note. And just by adding that other note, even at the previous volume, we have now created a syncopation. Because now we have this extra note that's drawing attention to itself on one level. So we get this extra thing, but it emphasizes where our expectation of the beat is. So it's not a full syncopation. It's like this sort of a weak syncopation. So if we wanted a strong one, we would make this note louder, and this one, we'd make this note softer. See how we move the beat? The expectation is shifted. And so now, what if we were to do something like, we could do something more advanced, let's say. We could do something like create some chords. Don't worry about this. We'll talk about this as we get going. There's only one more rhythmic video before I'm going to start delving into pitch, and that's going to be a huge bulk of this series is going to be dealing with that. Because this rhythm stuff, once you understand these things, you can create mega complicated rhythms. Like, it's not hard, and you'll have way more idea about, what you're doing. So here we have 4 chords all landing on the strong beats, and we're going to make them all the same length. So we're equal beat opportunity, right? So here they are all the same volume. Now, in music, you can create different accents. So I didn't say this in the other video, but you can crescendo a phrase, meaning get louder for 4 beats, climax on a point, and then come down. It's the same thing as a syncopation, where we can make these get louder, loudest, and then softer. We've created a larger syncopation inside a small window. So by stacking these rhythms on top, we can get this really complicated thing. That's just on that level. But let's say that like, hey, let's create a syncopation where we do something like this. And let's make these notes F major. So right now, our syncopation, there's not really one. All beats are stressed equally. So 1 by our natural instinct will get emphasis. Now, we've created a syncopation in one regard in that we change notes on beat 3, but it sounds natural because we expect that. Now, what if we were to do this? This is going to shift the attention of the beat over half a beat because this is an 8th note. So when we do that, You see how it changes? Now, what if we were to do something more radical? What if we were to change this so that this was the strongest beat in the measure? We've totally syncopated this now. We have completely left the realm of whatever 4/4 demanded of us. And you see, like, I rocked your boat right there. Like, that's like, what the heck just happened? Like, that can't do that. And when you do this enough, you can create subsets of rhythms. So let's make it more natural. If we wanted to sound more natural, we're going to make one the strongest beat, and we'll make this beat a little less strong. So now it's more natural. However, it still doesn't sound quite right because it's not on beat 3. If we were to take this, make it softer, and make this one louder, we've created another type of syncopation. This one's actually too soft. Like well, that's the power of, we haven't talked about rests, and I'm not gonna, but you can add rests and do all these things. And so now you're beginning to see the power that you have at your fingertips. So that's that. Now, this is syncopation like 101. So you can do this, and by changing where these things land, by, for example, keeping the volume the same, but simply changing the notes there, or not having a note in the spot, or having a note be louder or played stylistically differently, or maybe the timbre changes right there, or the frequency content shifts in some way. Would that be the same as the timbre change? And you just do different things. And these different changes allow you to shift attention of where beats land. And rhythm is, and syncopation is the study of, how do you do that? What works out best? What creates certain types of perceptions? That kind of a thing. So this is like a huge weapon. Like, we're done at this point. I've gotten you to the point where you can now go and make educated rhythms. You can want to make it more sound more natural. We could do this, and we could take this, and we can make these softer just a little bit by comparison. And real piano players, when they're playing, that's what they do. That's what you're hearing. We don't have to think about it at such great level of detail in while you're playing. It just naturally happens. You see how this crescendos goes do 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 do. And then we could create more elegant strokes. And then over this phrase, we could have this little rhythm going. And then it, as a whole phrase that maintained, could get louder and softer and create even more syncopation. So this is already a powerful weapon on our own. Again, this can apply to any meter. And we talked about how meters on a basic level are related to the tempo, like why you would pick to work in certain meters. So hopefully this has been enlightening to you. Hopefully you're like, holy crap, I have options, and now you're going to use these things down here a lot more. Some people will leave them stagnant, and what they're missing out, and I do it all the time in dance music because that's sort of a stylistic thing that has happened, but it takes away from the interest you can create. So more advanced composers will use things like this, and depending on what I'm making, you'll see me reach down there more often. So if you have any questions, let me know. Subscribe, and have a blessed day.